Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's masterclass. It's a masterclass because we're having Flow. Flow is the future of Salesforce, and if you can master Salesforce Flow, you can excel in any area of Salesforce. I don't need to introduce Deepo. Deepo has been with us for more than 2 years, or since cohort 4, 5, and today he's teaching us Flow all over again. He taught it the last two cohorts, and tonight we're going to be having the end-to-end Flow masterclass. For this particular challenge, Deepak will be going through the sales page at Blackforce, and he's going to be recreating that sales page using Salesforce Flow and Experience Cloud. Without wasting much time, I'm going to hand over to Deepak, and Deepak will give us a masterclass in Salesforce Flow. Thanks, Deepak. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Roberto. So let me share my screen. You've done the introduction, so I need to skip all those introductory parts. So this is the master class. I think we should just get started into the use case because it's going to take us a while, and I really want everyone to understand what we are doing today. When I saw the use case yesterday, I said, no, this is not a use case, but this is a project. This is a project that if you are able to, solve this end to end, then you can always say this is a project that I've worked on. These are the automations that I've done. You understand? So we're going to go into it. Let me share my screen and let's get started. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen, your email.
My email. Okay, great. So let me go to my org. Okay. All right. So I believe everyone has we have the use case. So so that we can follow up. I'm going to run through it, then go to Blackforce sales page and demo what we are expected to build. Okay. So the use case, this is the use case. It says you've been hired as a Salesforce consultant to recreate the Blackforce sales page using the Salesforce Experience Cloud side, using the Salesforce Flow. Blackforce would like you to carry out the following task. This is the part one, and it's fundamentals, right? This is a master class, so we expect everybody to understand what the fundamentals of Flow, and also its applications, right? But we are going to touch everything as well from fundamentals to the advanced part. So we are creating a landing page for the Blackforce sales page. This should introduce the Blackforce special programs. You should use a screen flow to display a screen flow display test. This is a component. So everywhere you see a bolded test, that's a component, and that's what we should use in building this flow. To display the test, the landing page should have a continue registration button. See Appendix 1, right? So in Appendix 1, let's go to Blackforce page, Blackforce. Just move it here. All right, so enroll should take us to here, right? So here, once we click continue registration, it should now take us here. Okay, so let's go to number 2. The page should list all programs in the system. Do not add code these programs. They should be generated from objects called programs. You should use the flow get record and loop to get the list of programs and display the social program. Okay. The programs page should have a subscribe now or next button. See Appendix 2. So this is Appendix 2. Right? This is Appendix 2. So I have all the programs and the subscribe now button. Then 3, when the subscribe button is clicked, it should display the next page, which is the page to let the student choose a payment plan from. The payment plan can be full amount, instrumental, or for instrumental. In addition, the student can choose whether they want one special program or all special programs, right? Or one special programs or all special programs. Each option should have a subscribe now button. So this is what I mean. When you click subscribe now, show this full payment, installment, 2 installments, or 4 installments, right? Then it should say one special or all special programs, right? And they should all have their subscribe button. Then when the subscribe now is clicked, a term and condition page should be displayed. The student must accept the terms and condition before they can move forward, right? So here, if you click subscribe, it should now display this term and condition, right? Then when you accept terms, then it goes to, registering you. So this is where we're going to stop in looking at Blackforce page. Then we'll start building our flow. Okay. So when they accept the terms, the next page should be displayed, all right, which accept the student details, such as the first name, last name, email, select a program, then you use a create record to achieve all the record creation, fine. 6, applying coupons should validate an existing column based on the object called coupon in the system. That is, you create an object called coupon and ensure that you only have valid coupons that can be accepted, all right? And use a get record and a condition that checks if the coupon is valid, if there's a valid coupon to achieve this. Then instead of making payments, you will just save the record in an object called student object. When the record is saved, send a confirmation email using an email notification action to achieve this. You should send an email to the student based on their email address. The email should have a student identification number and have a password with a unique link for the student. Use an email template to achieve this. Okay, so now let's stop. We have part 2, we have part 3. Let's stop there at part 1, and let's start building this flow. So the way I build flow, when I receive a use case, right? When I receive a use case, reading through the use case, I'll read through the use case first, then I'll go over it again. Going over it again, I'm going to be building it in my head, right? Some always write it down. Some, if I'm, talking to business, I'll just highlight all the process mapping, how components connect with each other, to talk to them, because you can't discuss technical terms with business that doesn't understand technical terms, right? But looking at this, at the back of my head, I will keep building it. Now, the first thing is we want to create a landing page. But what is the end result? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to do here? What are we trying to solve? We're trying to use Flow to solve student registration process. They should be able to register, one, on an experienced cloud site, because the student will not come into your hub. On an experienced cloud site, one, and they should be able to receive an email, okay? That email should be sent in a template. What is that telling you, right? So now, there's a lot of ways to, solve a use case. But now with this statement, use an email template to achieve this. If you create a student object, right? If I can create a custom student object, okay? But when I want to use an email, when I want to use a match field in the template, match field can only send to either a lead or a contact. Match fields can only send to either a lead or a contact in Salesforce. So the first thing, before even attempting this, is depending on the business. You understand? I'm going to discuss with the business that this is what is achievable, right? And this is how I'm going to solve this. So what are we using our contact object for? Because before you even create, that's the basics law of Salesforce. Before you even create any custom object, you must be able to prove that there's no standard out of the box object that can do the same functionality as that custom object that you're creating, right? So you understand why you're creating a student object if you have a contact that can do that. Okay, so for me to justify my case, because right now I'm going to be replacing the contact with student object. I'm going to be renaming contact with the student object. Right. There are basic admin stuff here. And this is what I always tell, my students and people, that you don't just jump on the org and start saying, I want to build flow. There must be a use case like the one we're solving tonight, right? So your use case will now direct where your implementation is going. what you need to do, and so on and so forth, and also how technical and how skillful you are. All right. So now the first thing is we're creating a landing page for the Salesforce Sales Flow. This will introduce the Blackforce special program. All right. So let me go into my org. We're going to go into setup. Now, so what I was saying earlier on is this is the contact object. Okay. So I relabel the contact object as student so that I can use email template to do what? To be able to use the merge fields so that I can use merge fields. Okay. Now, I'm going to go here and click setup. Then we'll start our flow. Right. Flow. From here, we navigate to flow and we'll say new flow. Okay. It's going to be a screen flow because it's going to be displaying information back to the user. Then the user is going to be interacting with it. So any implementation whereby user needs to interact with the system that you're building with Flow will be a screen flow, right? If it doesn't need any user interaction, then it can be a record trigger or auto launch flow, right? So because the use case says that you should use a screen flow. It's even specified that you should use a screen flow display test to display this test. All right. So let's go in there. Start, next, and screen flow. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to come in and put in our screen. And we want to call this screen the welcome screen. Okay. We want to call this screen the welcome screen. Okay. And here we need a display test. So we'll be selecting display test from the component in the screen flow. We'll put this display test here, and I'm going to be calling the display test welcome message, right? Okay, so what is the welcome message? Let's go to Blackforce. This is the welcome message, home. Let's see enroll now. Yeah, so here we have welcome to Blackforce, this. We're going to copy. That's the only thing we need. Okay? That's the only thing we need. So we come inside there and put into that display test welcome. All right? You can decide to style it. If you have some CSS, some custom components, you can decide to style it, right? So, but what we are learning is the application of Salesforce Flow. Okay, so we won't be doing much styling. All right. So that's it. Done. That's our welcome message. I'm going to save my flow as we go along. So we're going to call this Blackforce. We're going to call this Blackforce. Blackforce student registration flow. Blackforce student registration flow. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to my flow. I don't want that header to show. That's why I'm removing it. So flow header will keep showing Blackforce student registration, even on experience side, but which I don't want that. So then you can control that using removing the show header. Okay. Then I'm going to remove that. All right. So as we go along, every component that I'm using, I will be explaining the usage. If it's standard, if it's custom, how you can get that, I'll also be telling us. All right. So now going back to the challenge, it says the landing page, you have a continue registration button to have a continue registration button. Okay. Now, when you go to the continue registration button, right, the page should list all the programs in the system. Do not add code these program names. Okay. Do not add code these program names. Okay. They should be generated from all the object called programs, meaning that you must already have an object in your org called programs. Okay. So we already have this program object. listing all the programs and the date that we are offering these programs. And these are all special programs. You see, from artificial intelligence up to Salesforce Administrator, these are 15 programs that is here on this page. Enroll now. Okay, enroll now. So this is our welcome. This is our welcome. What they call this? Our welcome screen. Okay, so when you go to continue with registration, it's also displayed all the programs that we are offering with the subscribe now button. All right. So here we can just, customize our footer and call it, continue with registration. Okay. Continue with registration. So we customize our footer and say continue with registration, right? Instead of next. So we use that as say continue with registration. Okay. Continue with registration. That will save. Now, when we click on that continue with registration, let's debug. We'll be debugging our flow along. Okay. When we click on continue with registration, right, it should now display all this. It should display all this. Okay. It should display all this and the subscribe now button. Okay. It should display all this and the subscribe now button. All right. So when we go here to do that, it's when we don't want to add code. Look at what the challenge says. You should use a flow get records and loop to get the list of programs and display the special program. Okay, and display the special program. All right. So the way I do, if I'm approaching this right from the business angle, right, that's in the real life angle, right, I try as much as possible to build a very simple flow that is easy for the user, to comprehend, and whoever is coming, after you to, or somebody from your team that wants to work on that flow or that wants to call that flow as a soft flow must be able to understand what you're doing. Right. So right now, on the next screen, we want to display when we click that continue with registration, it should display. So on the next screen, we can add code, right? We don't want to add code. So what do we do? What do we do on that next screen? So it means we need to get records, right? We need to get records. When you click, we need to get records. So here we're going to be using the get records element. So these are parts of the elements of flow, right? That you already know about, or if you're hearing about flow for the first time, or where people are solving a use case for the first time. So we have get record. Get record reads data from your Salesforce database. It reads data, it fetches data, just get record. All right. So what records are we getting? Look at what the challenge says, right? You should use a flow get record and loop to get the list of programs. Now, here, I won't be using loop to get list of programs, but I will be setting the record that I will be getting, right, using a condition. Because what if you have 5 million records? You can't get all the 5 million records. You must be able to set your condition, right, of the record you are getting so that you don't hit what is called the Salesforce governor limit. So that you don't, hit that limit, right? So I will be getting the programs, right? Because we want to display all the programs. So I'm going to be getting all the programs. So here I'm going to label get programs, get special programs. Okay. Get special programs, right? Because these are special programs. These are not all these programs. These are special programs. You see, Blackforce special programs. These are all the special programs that we offer at Blackforce. So I'm getting special programs. So, let's say it's a university, right? We might be offering close to 40 programs, but they are not all special. But we're out of all the 40 programs that we are offering, we have 15 special programs. So those are the programs that we are getting. Now, we'll go back to our org, right? What is the Salesforce object? Remember, I already created program object, right? So that's what I'm getting, okay? I just want you guys to follow along with the way we are solving this use case, okay? So I'm going to go back here to my flow, okay? And I'll say programs, okay? Programs, all right? You see, underscore C means that it's the custom object, just in case if we have a standard program in the org, all right? So I'm going to get programs. Now, do I want to get all the programs? No, I don't want to get all the programs. That's what the condition requirement is saying, right? You can either get all programs or filter your record get element, right? So what do I want to get? I want to get a program that is special program. You see, type equals, you see, we have regular programs, we have on-demand programs, we have special programs. So I want to get all the special programs. Now, am I getting only one record? No, I want to get all records. Now, this is nice. I'm seeing this for the Salesforce now as up to a specified limit, you see? Meaning that you can't even get everything. So let's say I want to get only 4 records. I'm just going to specify here 4.